Hi Taurus, this is your April 2024 soul story. If you've got a sun rising or your moon in the sign, this might resonate for you. Happy solar returns if you have a birthday this month. It's Romy. Thank you for tuning into my channel, joining me for this cosmic conversation this month. We are opening up with the energy of the Six of Coins. April is kind of like a once in a lifetime experience in many regards. You know, we have the highlight of this Jupiter conjunct Uranus in your sign coming in on the 20th. Not only that though, we also have this epically powerful solar eclipse in Aries coming in on the 8th. And so the karma this month is amped all the way up, and it's certainly bringing about some life-changing opportunities. I think now it's the time for you to rebalance something, and part of that is about how you're going to go about a reinvention. There's a reinvention of sorts happening for you in April, I believe, Taurus, whether that be, you know, in terms of something much more personal in your identity, a reinvention of your career, of your love life, of some sort of area of your life that is long overdue, and it's really underpinned by this powerful current, I believe, of healing. The Aries energy in the 12th house for you is really helping to bring to light. And so the breakthroughs by way of, you know, new understanding and solutions that are showing themselves to you in a new light this month, you know, can't help but put you in a place of knowing what you now need to do and having the desire and the motivation to act upon it, especially when the sun shifts into your sign on the 19th. Now, when we begin April, Mercury will be stationing retrograde in Aries, and so there are some pieces from the past that are showing up. With that Six of Coins, like there's a awareness that there might actually be something that's owed to you that I feel you're going to discover or you're going to look back over to address. And I think that, you know, the experiences that you may have gone through previously have meant that perhaps you didn't have the time, the inclination, the energy, the wherewithal to actually like deal or address it in some ways. But April is about to change that. We've got celebration coming through with the energy of the Three of Cups, and you know, a lot of this fire energy does kind of spark something. You know, our mojo gets lit up a little bit, and I think it's such a dynamic month ahead. There's a vibrancy and a certainty to it, and I think what you're bringing to the table this month is quite a pioneering approach to things. You're certainly going to want to take action. And with that action, there's also an opportunity, as we said, to rebalance something so that you don't go back to old ways that I suppose created some sort of setup for you or held you in a setup really that prevented you from being able to experience things that you wanted to or that you were ready to. Okay, so a lot of the courage and the bravery that I think emerges in the month of April is quite life-changing, in as much as, you know, the choices and decisions that you make, there's many things that you're never going to go back to. You know, you make the decision to move on from it or to make a change or an adjustment, and it's final. Like there's this sense of just really being able to come to terms with it in a way that you make peace with it. And once you've made peace with it, there's no need to kind of keep regurgitating or, you know, feeling like you need to return to something over and over. So the solar eclipse is arriving on the 8th of the month in Aries at 19 degrees. And, you know, that new moon, you know, wants to direct you powerfully towards what you are meant to come into a vibrational match with, right? We've got the energy of the Two of Cups. And I just feel it's something destined for you. We look at the figures here and it's an older couple, and it just feels like you may have had to wait a very long time indeed for the beginnings of this to be shown to you or to start to come in a way that you're like, yes, now it's my time, or now it's time. And I think this month has such rich potential that if you can identify, you know, where it's showing up, and you can kind of understand and sort of take the seeds of the conversation that's happening, you know, from the astrological forecast, and, you know, understand the themes that are playing out in your own life, then you're going to be able to kind of connect the dots and really see how something is starting to shape in quite a powerful way. The cups coming in here also talk to me about, you know, a rising sense of emotion in regards to something. So it feels to me that you're also realizing with greater certainty how you really feel about something or someone. So there's also this kind of truth landing. And, you know, we understand with these eclipse energies, you know, they can bring about powerful disruption, trajectory changes for us, and an awful lot of unexpected events. Now, couple that with the Jupiter conjunct Uranus in your sign, and we're set to see something, you know, play out through the month of April that you could not have written. Like, you simply could not have written this. And it does have the feeling of, you know, you didn't see it coming. That doesn't mean it has to be something that's unwanted. Nonetheless, you know, any surprise of any nature can render us a little bit kind of disconnected from ourselves temporarily. So you might just find, you know, through the course of April, as a result of these energies showing up and coming in, that you do just feel a little bit you know, like ungrounded almost, shall we say. We've got the Fool showing up here, and I think, in all honesty, everything that plays out this month, remember we're at the beginning of the astrological new year as well, is helping you to find that courage and that self-belief and that faith to just say, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm doing this. And that's kind of what I see the Fool as wanting to support you with. Just that moment where you kind of peer over the edge and you just go, okay, it's sort of now or never. Now, we're also going to see this month Juno, the asteroid goddess, stationing direct in Virgo. Juno went retrograde back on the 12th of January. She's been in Virgo since October 23, and we talked about this back in Jan and discussed how it can impact, particularly in regards to relationships, but also any, you know, sort of contracts, commitments that you're a part of. A reevaluation was required, and you've been working through that systematically and probably highlighting and identifying lots of things that you have been unhappy with or haven't necessarily been working for you favorably. What's come out of all of that, especially with the intensity that February brought through with that highlighting around relationships, we are now, you know, exposing new ways to move forward. We're going to start to find the solutions and find agreeable terms. And I think what's coming through for you very much, along with the kind of intensity of change, is that now is the opportunity for you to really kind of go for what you want and really exercise that agency to say, okay, if we're going to be changing it, then let's just change everything to this degree. So it's kind of holding the power and the promise, if you like, to negotiate something more powerful, more significant than I think you're even necessarily prepared for. You know, you might find in the moment, and then as the energy carries you through the month of April, Taurus, that you end up you know, by the end of the month in a place that says, wow, like, did that really just happen? Did I really kind of talk my way into this, or did I really negotiate my way towards this outcome? The answer to that is yes. Judgment comes through, and there's a powerful moment here where we're looking at a rebirth taking place. This is why I'm saying the reinvention for you of April comes in quite a powerful but surprising way as well. Now, we've got the full moon Scorpio arriving on the 23rd. Of course, that highlights that opposing 7th house of relationships for you. Again, adding more intensity to this month, and it's one word that you'll definitely use as you reflect and move through this April is intense, right? But what I'm feeling in and around that time is that, you know, you will come to some quite clear and critical choices, and that also may be as a result of being somewhat backed into a corner and then just kind of realizing again, well, you know, I feel like my only option is this. And, you know, we always have way more choices than we perceive on the surface of things. However, in that moment, you might feel like this is my only option. It's certainly not a compromise in terms of what I pick up. I think that it's the sort of first step that's going to lead towards a more liberating experience. And again, this feeling of like, okay, well, if this has to happen, there's almost like a fait accompli around something. If this has to happen, then I'm just going to make the most of it, and I'm going to do this, this, and this at the same time. So that's how it kind of feels like it's preparing or setting you up. So not necessarily something straightforward or easy to navigate or to deal with in terms of what comes to light, information that's being discussed, and what is being asked of you to release, to let go of. And I think, it's going to be a tough conversation to have, bearing in mind so much of the sort of ground shifting beneath your feet and some of these surprise things kind of showing up. But at the same time, you will see this portal, you'll see this window, and you're going to be like, you know what, I'm taking it, I'm doing this. And it's almost like the adrenaline is quite high as you see, like, it's like a snakes and ladders, right? And you're about to kind of potentially see how you can jump on that ladder and sort of evolve and move something powerfully forth. So we've got the Sun of Coins, Knight of Coins energy coming in, and it just feels like this. You're looking towards the kind of golden horizon, the harvest time, and you're aware of the work that needs to be done. Now, Spirit have in hand, by way of sort of intervening fate and pathways, like how you're going to be exposed and put in the places that you need to be, but of course the work that you need to do within the self to prepare and to almost give permission to yourself to be able to say yes to things is coming through with this. I think there's some really interesting offers on the table. I think there's going to be some very powerful face-to-face conversations and meetings that take place for you or get set up in the month of April. And as you come into the end of the month, Mercury will station direct on the 25th. Yes, we'll still have some shadow to work with, but at that point forth, I see you being able to really see the power of what that meeting or interaction or conversation holds for you. It's like there's quite a lot at stake. There's a lot on the line, but you've done your homework is sort of what is coming through for me. You've done what's necessary, and this is going to be a time of accelerated regeneration, and it will feel exhilarating. At the same time, remember, the Mercury retrograde throughout the month is going to also bring this high level of frustration, coming through a little bit. And if we're not careful, we can end up almost like abandoning something or giving up on something because we just get too agitated or irritated by the lack of movement or the confusion or the misunderstandings that can ensue. And it's almost just like, I don't have time for this. I kind of feel you like losing patience quite quickly. It will have an opportunity to sort of come back around. I don't see you discarding something to the degree that there's not an option to return or to pick it back up unless it's something that's karmically meant to be departing or leaving your life. Now, we've also got Venus shifting into your sign from the 29th, of course, your ruling planet, so loves to be in the energy of Taurus, and this is going to, even before the end of April, bring a little bit of nourishment to you, especially with some of the chaotic and sort of frenzied way that you might have had to navigate and show up to certain experiences like through the month. Okay, this is a life-changing opportunity, and if you have the chance to say, okay, it's time, you also come to terms with the fact that the only constant is really the fact that life is continuing to change and evolve at a rapid speed. So if you're new to the channel, Taurus, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended version of my reading. We talk for another 20 to 30 minutes. We'll also look at a personal question for you and a relationship card as well. So I hope you'll join me. You'll find a link for that in the description box below. I'm going to go ahead and just clarify these cards, see the direction that we're going to be looking at the overall reading for you. Now, my Sacred Soul support this month, we have a guided journey to help you elevate your prosperity consciousness. And we also have a guided journey with Juno, the asteroid goddess, to help you unearth how to work more powerfully with her energy. So you'll find that over on my website, romywiser.com, as well as my sacred titles, ways to work with me, and everything that I create to support you in your spiritual journey. So we've got the Devil showing up with the Six of Coins here, and the Page of Wands. About the Three of Cups here, Seven of Pentacles. I mean, there could be some major changes coming through from a financial perspective in April. So be prepared for that roller coaster. You have some favorable cards showing up here with the 6, the 7, the Page, the 9. So again, when we talk about Mercury retrograde bringing pieces back from the past, it may be that some interesting conversations or information comes to you that helps you to access or receive abundance coming through. We've got King of Cups, another energy of the Fool, Judgment, Eight of Cups. A reinvention requires a letting go of the old you or the old way. And we've got the Star, the Moon, Temperance, one more here. Actually, 2 came through, 5 of Swords, 2 Pentacles, okay. All the cards, all the decks that I use are always listed in the comment and description box underneath, Taurus, okay, you can check those out. Alright, let's have a look. This is Life Soul Vision Oracle, so this is my own deck. Please check it out if you are new to the channel. We've got Blossoming Soul Song, love that. Vortex of Boundless Grace. It will be a incredibly creatively charged month ahead. So a lot of ideas flowing through. Maybe ones that, you know, you'll not necessarily be able to initiate all at once, but nonetheless, like the downloads are coming through and they need to be stored and kind of recorded so that you can keep returning to them, and they'll create a beautiful pathway forward for you as you move deeper into this year ahead. Okay. Right, let's have a look at the Oracle cards for Taurus for April 24. We've got Idyllic Times, the Garden, Paradise, beautiful. And then let's pull an Astrology for you also. We'll explore these messages in our extended reading. Link is below. Perfect. We've got Uranus. Okay, so remember these dates, all right? The 8th for the solar eclipse, the 20th for Jupiter conjunct with Uranus. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you again next time, Taurus. Take good care. Bye.